Hey everybody, welcome back to Swift Lessons for some more classic blues slide guitar techniques, this time in open E tuning. Now in my last lesson, I introduced to you the slide guitar ring from the company Black Mountain, and this is a really cool thing to throw into your gig bag. There's so many different possibilities when you can mix together your slide guitar work with your traditional lead lines. So if you'd like to explore those possibilities, then you can click the card right up there in the top corner. Now, for today's lesson, we're going to be breaking out their full-size slide, which has that same spring-loaded mechanism inside that keeps it nice and snug. And perhaps my favorite feature is this notch that they have here at the bottom that allows the slide to sit more comfortably. All right, so let's jump in. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to get into open E tuning. We'll talk about some soloing positions, and I'll break down a handful of intermediate level friendly licks. Let's get started. Okay, taking a close look at the fretboard of this 1965 Gibson SG, a great guitar for slide work. And I made sure to lift my action up just a little bit using the bridge. Higher action is a little bit more appropriate for slide guitar and also allows you to sustain notes more easily. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do today is talk about how to get into open E tuning. It's very simple. All we're going to do is tune our guitar to the notes that we find inside our open E major chord. So in that chord, we got E, B, E, G sharp, B, and E. All right, so to get into open E tuning, we're going to tune the A string up a full step to B. We're going to tune our D string up a full step to E. And we're going to tune our G string up a half step to G sharp. All right, from there, you can play every major triad up and down the fretboard just by barring. You can still play your basic shuffles. Shuffle in E. You can take that to the 4. And the 5. All right, if you have those techniques down and you're in open E tuning, then grab your slide. I'm going to teach you some licks. Okay, very good everybody. Now that you have your guitars fine-tuned to open E tuning, let's start learning how to visualize the fretboard. I'll give you some soloing positions and also some choice licks. The first thing that I want you to do is practice playing your minor pentatonic scale on a single string. The high E string frets 0, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. All right, we're playing the intervals. Minor third, whole step, minor third, whole step. All right, with those intervals in mind, you can take it up another octave. Minor third, whole step, minor third. And now we're out of frets. All right, from there you can practice playing those notes with the slide. All right, something great for you to practice. Now, another thing I keep in mind whenever I'm playing slide is that I still have my B and my high E strings in standard tuning, which means that if I know my caged pentatonic positions, I can still use those notes and the intervals and the layout are going to be the same. So for example, on the B and high E strings, I can play frets 0, 3, 0, 3. All right, part of my minor pentatonic scale in open position, all right, that I recognize from standard tuning. I've also got from my upper extension frets 3, 5, 3, 5. All right, then from here I've got frets 5, 8, 5, 7. And then in the 8th fret position, I got frets 8, 10, 7, 10. I can also play frets 10, 12, 10, 12. And then everything is going to be the same, moving up an octave. All right, so on and so forth. All right, so those are some things that you can use on the B and the high E strings. It's also very helpful to get down a couple of pentatonic patterns. So for example, I can play an E major chord just like this. All All right, right behind that shape, I've got my minor pentatonic scale, just like this. 12, 10, 12, 10, 11, 12 on the D, 10, 12, 10, 8, 12. All right, and of course, I can play the 10th fret low E string as well. All right, now one cool thing about that is if I take any minor pentatonic position, this goes for any tuning that you're in, and bring it down by a minor third, it turns into a major pentatonic position. And right there's my root note E on the 5th fret of the A string. Okay, one more scale pattern that I want you to get down, another position of the minor pentatonic scale, this time in the 3rd fret position using some open strings. Looks and sounds like this, frets 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 3 on the B, 5, 3, 5. All right, practice those positions, see if you can apply the slide, for example. All right, using the slide in that 12th fret position, right around that E major chord shape. Okay, very good everybody. Now you have some scale positions and other things to visualize on the fretboard. Hopefully that'll keep you from getting lost. If you have those scale patterns down, you're ready to learn some licks. All right, I'm gonna break down much of what I played in my demonstration. The first lick you can slide up into with a little bit of aggression. All right, so a pretty simple lick. I'm picturing that minor pentatonic scale. I'm picturing the E major chord. All right. Now I always find it easier to learn slide licks using my index finger first. So I'm playing 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. And notice when we go to the 10th fret high E string, we're sliding down into that note. So with the slide, and then we're gonna slide up a minor third, thinking about that minor pentatonic scale on a single string that I showed you. So we're going to the 15th fret high E string and sliding away. The full lick. And you can use hybrid picking for this as well. All right, for a little bit more snap to your tone. One more time with the count. A 1, 2, 3. Let's try hybrid. All right, now the next lick I played was for the 4 chord A. The lick looks and sounds like this. And real slow. I can play it right here. Picturing my A major chord, barring the 17th fret. I got my minor pentatonic scale transposed. Just like that. All right, the lick real slow. All right, so that was 17th fret of the high E string, down to 15, 17 on the B, 17 on the G string, sliding down a half step, minor third, and then finding the root note on the 17th fret of the D string. All right, a little tricky with one finger, but with the slide. Classic lick there with a little bit of a twang to it. All right, you can try raking into it. Now, notice my palm is on the strings. All right, that's blocking all the strings I'm not using. Just the high E string is ringing clear. Classic slide maneuver there. All right, from there we can play hybrid picking, pick, and just like that, you can keep it short or a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more legato. All right, put that together and we got Now check it out, we can transpose that lick for each chord in the progression. For example, put it on the 12th fret for the key of E. All right, the 7th fret is great for the key of B. All right, and of course that can go up an octave. All right, you just learned a super powerful, super classic lick that you can play over all 3 chords. That'll really give you some mileage there. All right, so far you have lick number 1. Lick number 2. All right, then I played something like this. Alright, so I slid up to the 5th fret of the D string. Play the open string first, and then vibrato on that 5th fret. Next we can play a slide, 3, 2, 0. Alright, kind of pulling off. So far you have. And ending that phrase, I'm playing 3, 3, 0. Alright, we're not done yet. Alright, right there I just played open strings, 3rd fret, power chord. Alright, right here's your power chord. Covering up all 3 strings. That's another classic maneuver. So you can play more open string, and then slide up into that sweet spot, the 12th fret position. All right, put that lick together and we have. Okay, so far you got some cool licks to practice. Lick number 1, repeats. Lick number 2 over A. There the E chord comes back in. All right, remember all the tabs are at patreon.com/swiftLessons. The next lick is going to be recycled. It's the same lick we played for A, but now we're gonna play it on the 7th fret position for B. All right, we can play it again over A. And then we can finish up with a turnaround. Looks and sounds like this. Pretty simple. And then the resolve back to E. All right, so just learn it with your fingers first. All right, so we're finding ourselves on the D and the high E strings. They're tuned to the same note. We're gonna start off double plucking, then plucking the high E string by itself. Now go down to fret 10 and alternate. Keep descending now chromatically. All right, using that double pluck followed by the single note. So. Next, we're going to play. All right, picture that B chord now. That's the chord we're over at this point. Slide in 7 down to 6. And then go into the root note of that chord. Before. All right, throwing in that bluesy little end in. So. We're hitting the open string first. Open D, 3, 3, 0. And you can slide up dramatically to the 12th fret position to resolve back to the 1 chord. All right, implementing the slide, remember a soft touch, just enough pressure, so that way you're getting those notes to ring clearly. Right there, the root note, that magic note. Vibratoing to end it. Put all that together and we have a nice little solo for you to practice over standard blues in the key of E. Let's give it a try. A 1, a 2, and 3. A. E. Here comes the B chord. A. And turn around. All right, some classic slide techniques for your week of practice. Okay, very good everybody. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and big thanks to my sponsor, Black Mountain Guitar Picks, for providing this really nice slide. I highly recommend it, and you can find the link for it down in the description and in the comments. Also, I want to thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. I hope you're enjoying those extra resources at patreon.com/SwiftLessons. Until next time, this is Rob coming at you from the Jersey Shore, saying happy picking.